The season ended with the Bills at the Dolphins. It was an exciting game. It was a close game. For a while, it looked like the Dolphins were actually going to pull it off. And then the Bills, after a slow start by Josh Allen with a couple of interceptions, he started clicking.
Right?
Stephon Diggs makes an appearance.
Yeah.
The defense steps up when it needs to. Special teams makes the big play with the long punt return to tie the game up. And the Bills have won their 4th straight AFC East title. And they're the number 2 seed.
Incredible.
And here's the thing to remember. The 2 seeds never lost since they've gone 2-7.
Yeah.
But the Bills twice have won only by 3 points at home.
Right.
The Colts gave them a scare 3 years ago. Last year, the Dolphins only lost by 3. And this year, the Steelers come to town. So 2-7, you think, 2-7 could be good. Both 2-7s could be good.
Yeah.
You got Packers, Cowboys in one conference. You got Steelers, Bills in the other. But the Bills, to their credit, after they were done, after it was over.
Yeah, wobbly Jenga tower.
The Jenga tower was down.
Yeah.
Then that 20,000. They need to send Tyler Dunn something.
Right.
They need to give him a Super Bowl ring if they win one, because that 20,000-word article galvanized and coalesced and circled the wagons, to use the Chris Berman term. Everybody circles the wagons at Buffalo Bills. They circled the wagons around Sean McDermott, and Rasul Douglas told me eight days ago. That was the moment. And you know, they were shaky the past couple of weeks, but they got it together last night. They win in Miami, and they're the 2 seed. Who would have ever dreamed?
Right.
It was all tracking. They're not going to make the playoffs. You and I were right. They're not making the playoffs. And then they hit rock bottom, and they went the other way.
Yeah, it impressive. I think speaks to the quarterback, the head coach, right? You know, their leadership. Of course, they got some other veteran players who are top-notch. We showed Ed Oliver, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde in the secondary. Stand up, like lifelong footballers who are going to hold it together. So I think that was important to them. And then last night, what we saw is, I think this thing that scared us with the Dolphins. When a game gets ugly and grimy, the Dolphins don't win, period. When the game's pretty and wide open, it's fun, and it's the Harlem Globetrotters, fast break offense type of stuff, the Dolphins look awesome. And you think, wow, this is the greatest thing to watch, right? But as we've seen, Bills know how to defend them. They make it ugly, right? Really felt like they controlled the game throughout. You kind of explained it right. It was the Josh Allen mistakes. I mean, Miami's defense never stopped Buffalo the whole night. I mean, there's a reason Josh Allen was responsible for 26 yards of total offense, right? I mean, he had an incredible night. He really did. But in those incredible nights and those plays, those 8 incompletions you have, it can't be like, oh my gosh, that happened in one of those 8 completions, right? We saw the first interception in the end zone, should have been a touchdown. Tight end was wide open in the back of the end zone, wide open on the play before, I should say, right? So that's where I'm messing up, sorry. On this play, this is just a horrible decision, and you can't just throw that not knowing what direction the receiver's going to break. So that's just reckless and stupid, and he's got to be better there. The second interception wasn't much better, but there was a 4th and 2. There was nothing there. He had to make something happen, so you can live with this one. It's not the worst. It's like a de facto punt almost to a degree. So that's
okay. Would have been better just knocking it down.
Yeah, it would have been better knocking it down. And then, of course, he gets stripped while they're in field goal position. Right, as they're getting down there close. But you see here, I think he's got the guy in the flat to the left. He should have put it on him. I guess he didn't feel comfortable about it. Now he's stuck, and he's got to throw a Hail Mary, and he takes a big hit. Right, but so, and then here's the strip by, I believe this was Christian Wilkins who got it right out of his hands. And yeah, it was a game where you really felt like, wait, Buffalo should be winning this. Buffalo controlled this. And then you felt like, wow, Miami kind of had things going in their direction. And it was like, wow, Buffalo's just going to screw this up the whole night. And then the punt return happened. The play of the night, really, right? And it felt like when that punt return happened, total momentum swing, and it was all on Buffalo's side from that play on.
When you look at what Allen did, and this is what we were saying last week,
right.
As the games become higher stakes,
right, you say,
need
Mike,
to
you're
unleash
right.
him. He had 15 carries for 67 yards. He had that great
what
run on.
That was insane.
Well, there was, and Jason Garrett and I were watching the car back.
Yeah.
To the hotel.
I was in the
and
middle
before
of my
the snap,
podcast.
I said he's going to run it.
Look at this. Look at this.
I said he's going to run it.
Look at this. There's 3 guys around him.
And tackle him.
And
Jason
they didn't want him.
Tackle him. I mean, watch.
They
this
didn't
is
want
what.
him.
But this is what you were saying last week.
Right.
Look, watch number 4.
Yeah,
I don't want to
like,
rip number 4, but he's the same guy that played two-hand touch with Isaiah Likely last week when Likely was on the sideline.
And the same guy that didn't tackle Stephon Diggs in the first game.
Well, so there you go. I mean, it's tackle football. It's not two-hand touch. I know some defensive players think they're trying to make it two-hand touch. They haven't made it two-hand touch yet. You've still got to tackle the guy and bring him down. And you get, I mean, I want to be careful how I say this, but you get a free shot at the quarterback.
Yeah.
And you don't take it.
Right.
Because this guy's a freight train coming at you.
No
but
doubt.
Still, I don't. And again, we see some things on Hard Knocks. This is your point, and I don't want to get the Dolphins all riled up, and I don't want to give them extra motivation to go into Kansas City and win, just the normal motivation they should have. But where is that toughness? Where is that edge? Where is that if you come running at me, I'm going to come running at you, and you're going to wish you hadn't come running at me.
Right. I think that's the one thing the Dolphins miss. That to me. And, I think the world of Mike McDaniel and a lot of the guys down there and that team, and they got a lot of special things, certainly. But, yeah, between watching Hard Knocks and the season and what we see on football on the field 2 years in a row, to me there's still a grittiness and toughness that the Miami Dolphins don't have to put them in a Super Bowl caliber type of football team. And I'm not saying they can't get there. I know they're still dangerous, but it looks like it's going to be tough with the injuries. And again, they just prove when they're in these type of games, life isn't that easy. We've seen too, I think on top of that people, the good coaches, the teams that have the personnel that can play with it a little bit, they've caught on to their offense, right? I think that's the other thing too. Now, people have caught on to the Buffalo offense to a degree, but back to that and what you were saying there, he's a freak of nature. I mean, Josh Allen, he makes you defend the whole field because who knows where he's going to throw it. 60 yards downfield, 60 yards on the sideline, running around, doing 360s, throw the ball across the field. Oh, here he's scrambling. Oh, he keeps it on the read option. I mean, he made a ton of phenomenal plays last night. 30 for 38, 360 yards, 2 touchdowns, almost 70 yards rushing. I mean, it was a Josh Allen performance. If he doesn't have the turnovers, we go, oh, wow, that was like carrying your team, put him on the back type of stuff. But those turnovers is what he's got to wash away, and they can be a Super Bowl contender because I do think they have the grittiness and toughness. And with him at quarterback, like you see last night, he's a one-man show. And the biggest thing, Mike, and I think you'll agree with this, they are at their best to me when the stat line looks like this. 6 to Shakir, 7 to Diggs, 7 to Kincaid, 4 targets to Sherfield. He got 3 catches, 2 to Dawson Knox. When the wealth is spread, right? We've talked about that. And that, to me, is why they moved the ball up and down the field on the Dolphins last night.
When you started saying what you were saying, I was thinking that Mike McDaniel needs a John Lynch, somebody who's going to go out and spot
that
defensive
kind of guy,
players
right,
who can complement what you do offensively.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan's offense alone isn't enough to make the 49ers what they are. Without a defense that has a bunch of guys on there that will hit you hard, that will tackle you, that won't two-hand touch you, that you're going to have second thoughts before you run into the teeth of that defense, the 49ers would be no different than the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They really wouldn't. They'd be a finesse team that has a hard cap on what they can do.
Right.
And you look at what's going to happen on Saturday in Kansas City, and I'm looking at it right now. Snow on Friday, Saturday, high of 19, low of 0.
Right. So
and that game, when they play at 8 p.m., it looks like it's going to be 5 degrees and falling.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins.
That's not Miami weather.
The team that if it ever is Miami weather, it's time to go dig your bunker and get in it. But the team that that I think one of the few teams that you say, boy, they really need home field advantage in the playoffs. They had their shot last night to get the 2 seed and guarantee at least 2 home games. And now they got to go to Kansas City. Be careful what you wish for, Tyreek. You're going back to Kansas City. It's going to be 5 degrees. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.